The Capitol Review, Democratic leadership will gather in Chicago this week for the Democratic National Convention. Joining Capitol Review is Alex Gangitano. She's a White House correspondent with our media partners at The Hill. Alex, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Well, so much has happened in the Democratic Party over the last several weeks. What can we expect from this year's convention?
Yeah, this convention is going to look so much different than what we thought it would look like a month and a half ago. So, of course, we know Vice President Harris is at the top of the ticket. This will be her big time to shine, keep the momentum up behind her. She's seen an influx of momentum and strong polls, strong fundraising numbers. And so now the question is, can she keep that up, after Labor Day? And I think how this convention goes will determine a lot of that. We're also seeing a star lineup in terms of presidents. So on Monday, President Biden will kick things off with a speech. We'll also see Hillary Clinton. And then on Tuesday, President Obama. On Wednesday, President Clinton and Governor Tim Walz to, officially be the vice president nominee, and then Harris on Thursday to wrap things up. So it's a big lineup. I'm sure there'll be celebrities and other high-profile Democrats on the ground as well. One thing that everybody's watching for too pretty closely is protests, especially pro-Gaza, pro-Palestine protesters, and how chaotic that could be just with logistics and so many people there.
Yeah, the city has put in some guidelines to help maintain the protest. I'm sure you're aware of that. Let's talk a little bit about, just Democrats going into this convention. Do you see or do you sense in talking with Democrats that there's more momentum now going into next week in Chicago now that Vice President Harris is at the top of the ticket?
Yeah, 100%. Every Democrat I've talked to over the last, 3 weeks have said the momentum's not going to end. I know it seems like, this week was the best week she's had. The next week's the best week she's had, but she's going to keep this up into the convention. And they've been right. Tim Walz being added to the ticket gave her another boost. They've raised a ton of money that way. And now I think the convention is going to give them even more of a boost. She'll see, I think, her polling numbers go up higher. We did see former President Trump after the Republican convention. Republicans seem really united in Milwaukee. He saw a boost in his polling. Of course, President Biden was still at the top of the ticket then. So I think we're going to see the same kind of boost for Harris. But I think people are really energized just by the fact that there's been this change at the top of the ticket. They're not concerned anymore about, will President Biden be able to deliver? I think they're excited about this new, fresh face that we're not as used to hearing from all the time. Of course, still a lot of support, I think, for President Biden and the work he's done over the last 4 years, but people are just ready for this change.
Alex, many would say that the issues are still important. What should Democrats focus on this week?
Yeah, I think there has to be a lot of focus on the economy because that's a huge thing that Republicans are going to just keep hitting on the fact that Americans still feel like the price of groceries and gas are way too high, and they're going to use Vice President Harris as just an extension of the Biden administration and say, if you vote for her, things are just going to stay the same for you and your family. So I think they have to come out with a policy plan, something different than what President Biden has been doing without making it seem like President Biden's been doing the wrong thing, which is kind of a tough balance. We have seen Vice President Harris already come out with some policy proposals, whether it's about child tax credits or making housing more affordable. I also think they have to figure out a way to talk about the border in a way that Republicans either can tone down criticism about it, something that's not going to inflame the criticism, I should say. So figure out, maybe get some moderate Democrats up there who can talk about how Democrats want to do something on the border, and they're not pleased with what we saw a year ago. And then crime, I think, is another big one. They have to come out with solutions for that. I'm sure they'll talk about gun violence. I'm sure they'll talk about, of course, reproductive rights. These are all hot button topics for Democrats that they really want to lean into.
Alex Gangitano, thank you very much for joining us.